Hey my babies! Hi baby elephants! Hi my babies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm leeoralexandra and and take it away, Sam!
And I'm SAM OZKURAL.
You know that I don't usually shoot in such a beautiful place like this.
Please.
We're at Sam's house today and we're recording 2 videos for you today. We just finished recording one for her channel. Link will be in the description below. Where we talk about basically Law of Attraction 101, just the basics, really simplified. If somebody's just starting or if somebody's in a rut, kind of what to do. So, are we crooked?
I think so.
Trying to do the sand dance.
The SAM dance. No, we're on your channel. We have to do get your vibrations way.
Wait,
Her
butt is fully just in here. Yes. We're friends, by the way.
Yeah, and so, I mean, side note, my dog doesn't really love that many people. She's a little afraid of people, and she loved you. Right when you walked in, she was like, Mommy!
So, this beautiful house that we're in right now, it's honestly stunning. It's out of a catalog, I swear.
Aww.
Best location, good vibes. You know when feng shui is just right? So, she manifested this house. And it's just like she was saying, she just like, you almost painted it because it's so specific.
I
wanted to find out all about how Sam manifested her house, and I need some tips for myself.
Aw, yeah, so you're moving.
I'm trying to.
You're trying to move.
Been trying.
Yeah. So, I think, I'm not gonna, me and you are on point with our Law of Attraction vibes and everything, but I think that this is where we might slightly disagree. Or take different paths.
I'm interested.
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready.
So with the Law of Attraction, sometimes I mean, for the most part, I do think that you should be ridiculously specific. And I think sometimes you think the opposite. You think you need to just put out there happiness, or what is it?
Just be on the right vibration, the right frequency, and things will align.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's not that we disagree, it's that it's different approaches.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I think that they both work perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. But I think for certain things, like for a house, I think you should be ridiculously specific, but then for like a partner, no, that it wouldn't work.
Completely agree. Because
Yeah.
as I'm trying to manifest this new home, I'm being super specific.
Exactly.
100%.
So I think it doesn't always translate, you know what I mean, for everything.
Yeah, agreed.
So for those of you watching, you know, if you want to attract the perfect college, then yeah, maybe specifics do count because you have to have your major, the location, this and that, a house like what we're going to talk about today. But for like your partner or maybe a dog or something, like I don't think you have to be so specific.
So I want you to just kind of like, what was your process of attracting it? What was your headspace? What were you thinking? What emotions were you feeling? What were you going through?
Well, I mean, some of the stuff that I'm telling you guys, I haven't even said on my own channel. I was telling Leor, so you guys are getting like a little,
it's so good.
little behind the scenes. But when I first moved to LA, I wanted to live here. Not necessarily this house. I'm sure I would have loved this house, but I wanted to live in Hollywood Hills. I had seen it and I've been there. I went to a few parties in the hills and I just thought they have the best of both worlds. They're right, you can get right into LA. Location, or not, I mean it is LA, but you know what I mean. You get right into the city, or you can kind of be private. You can walk your dog with your robe on and no one's gonna be like, what are you doing? You know?
Straight up.
Crazy person.
You know, people doing that.
Yeah.
Outside.
Jared does that. He's pushing it. But in a weird way, I think I was coming out of, I wanted it so bad that it was almost desperate.
Had that urgency.
It had that urgency, and I think that that's why I was, instead of getting closer to it, I was actually getting further away. So I had moved from New York, and I landed at my first place in West Hollywood, and I really enjoyed that place though, but the location wasn't. If I could have taken that place and put it here, I would have loved it, but the location I didn't love. And I just think that because it was a desperation feeling that I had to be here, that this was my target being here. I was going like this way.
Sometimes when you make something so important, in a way, what you're doing is putting out a vibration of lack, of not having it. You don't mean to do it, you just really want this thing, you really desire it, but inadvertently, you're just, you're putting out the energy that you don't have this already.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
And it's like you have this void in you that you shouldn't have. You should say, I love my life and I'm grateful for what I have. and I'm just not quite at that, but I'll be excited when that comes into my life, but I'm not gonna be unhappy because I don't have it. So then after that, I moved to completely opposite direction. I moved to Santa Monica for a year with my boyfriend. It was his dream to always live there, live close to the beach. And when I moved there, I kind of forgot about the Hollywood Hills. I completely detached. And then when we were gonna move into our first house together, we're looking all over, not just here. But what ended up happening is I created the exact house I wanted, and it turned out it was in the Hollywood Hills.
And that detachment landed you here, exactly where you visualized yourself living.
Yeah.
You detached, and that's what ultimately allowed that to come into your life. How did you did you visualize the house? Did you write it down?
Yes. So I created a vision board of the exact house I wanted. What's really trippy though is you can look at old videos of mine and I'm describing this house. But before I even moved to California, when I was still living in New York.
Amazing.
I
should
mean,
do a compilation of that. You just talking over a house tour.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea.
You, right?
Yeah.
House you different narrating.
Yeah. I specifically wanted a house with dark hardwood floors, and I wanted a traditional looking house, like architect wise. I didn't want something modern, and I don't know, there were so many things I didn't want. So it kind of made it easy when finding a house because I knew what I wanted. I wanted like a really white, bright kitchen. I wanted a pool.
Mm-hmm. And when you were focusing on this house, when you were doing your vision board, at that point, you knew what you wanted because you already knew what you didn't want, but you weren't focusing on like, oh, I don't want this, right? It was just
exactly
like focusing on exactly what you want.
Yeah, because I think sometimes we don't get what we want because we like so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was so many different house styles that I was looking for, I think that would have made it so much harder because I'd be like, oh, I like that. I could see myself doing that. Or I could see myself, I had tunnel vision. I could only see myself in this kind of house. But the thing that I was open about was location. You know, I liked this location, loved this location, but because I moved to Santa Monica for a year, I lost that need.
More open to other places.
Yeah.
But losing that need, that detachment, that's what happens.
Yeah, and I think you kind of become in this like complete surrender in that you're like, okay, universe, I'm okay being wherever, but these are my specifics that I would really like. And because of that, it brought me what I originally really wanted.
Really inspirational for me as somebody, I've been trying to figure out where I want to live because I don't even care about staying in the valley, but I need my own place and I need to like just go to the next level in life, the next step, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm having problems because, and I know it's like you can tell everybody what to do, but when it comes to yourself, to listen to your own advice, you have to consciously do that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not consciously listening to my own advice and kind of just need somebody to guide me through it. Sometimes it's hard when you don't have friends in your life that talk about this stuff because you can't be guided by them because you're guiding everybody else, you know? Like,
well, that's why I think that's why I think we attracted each other into our lives
100%.
Because I can bounce ideas off of you because I'm the same way. I mean, I think we all are, that it's hard to take our own advice sometimes.
You have to consciously do it. You have to be like, okay, what do I tell people? What would I tell somebody else to do?
Right.
So I'm trying to attract a move, a home. And I say home because I don't know if I want a house or an apartment.
Right, so you're being
open. Exactly, so I say home to just allow whatever in.
In this case, you're not picky about what it looks like or anything like that.
I know what I don't like, exactly like what you're saying. And I'm very new to looking at these things and looking at interior design. I was never interested in it before until it came into my awareness and until I needed to do it myself, to figure it out myself. So I know what I want, basically, but I haven't seen anything out on the market that looks like it.
Okay, and that was this house.
Okay, so
this house actually never even went up.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You literally created it out of nowhere.
I was the only person that saw this house and then the only person that made an offer.
Insane.
Yeah.
And a great offer.
So I think that, I mean, for me, with like something physical, like a partner, you might not be able to like clip out pictures and put on a vision board because I mean, love is love at the end of the day. It shouldn't really matter about this. It's like all about the heart. But I think that with a place, a home, you can be I think a vision board and clipping things out and putting it up and being like, that's what I want. That way when you see it, it's like that tunnel vision, like, oh, that's my dream. There it is. Like, that's the house I've been describing. Kind of like in The Secret when he was like, his son found the vision board and he was like, Dad, this is our house. And he was like, holy crap.
Same house. I remember that. That was the craziest thing.
Yeah, and I knew I wanted like a white and black house, and that's what this house is. Yeah. Black door, white house. I mean, it's just like...
That's amazing.
So I think kind of coming up with the architecture, and maybe come up with 2 vision boards, one a condo and then one a house just in case. And then come up, are you gonna live there alone? Are you gonna live with a roommate? Are you gonna live there with a lover? Yeah. So I think coming up with the specifics and then saying, okay, being open about what's the perfect location for me. So going back, those are your words, the perfect.
Yeah, perfect for me. You're right. And I haven't actually made a vision board of where I want to live. So I think that's what I have to do. And I have to visualize myself living there and who I'm going to be with and how I'm going to feel there. All right, I have homework to do.
Yeah, and I think also when you're, like for me, when I was living with my parents and I'd say, oh, I'm ready to move out, I really wasn't, because I had 0 responsibilities there. So what I started doing is actually doing responsibilities, because my parents, like, you know, we were talking about before, like, people won't be on board, but you have to show them. So I had to show my parents that actually I can move out and I can take care of myself. So I would do little things, like my mom was like, but do you have to take out the garbage out of your own house? You have to do like some of the things that your parents might do. So I started always like doing the dishes, the dishwasher, helping out a lot with laundry. Like I always kind of did my own, but like I would help my mom with like towels and like.
A great technique, actually.
Yeah, because then you start getting in the mindset and the vibration that you live on your own. Because you can't live taken care of with your parents, your mom cooking for you, this and that, and then go and say, well, I want to live on my own and this and that. It's going to be really difficult for you to kind of, and then it'll feel like you already do live on your own. Yeah. And then you'll attract it.
That completely adds up.
You know, when I was in college, I kept telling myself that I'm never going to move back home again. Now, I went away to college, I lived out of my parents' house. I'm never gonna go backwards, but I ended up going backwards because I kept putting it out there that I wasn't gonna go backwards, and I did. And I just like couldn't financially do it. So I moved back in with my mom and my brother and sister, and you go back into the same routine of, sometimes my mom, when we would get into little tiffs and stuff, she'd be like, you're being high school, Sam, you know, expecting, you know, your mommy to do everything when you have to be an adult and this and that. And then that's when I realized, if I ever want to move out, I have to start now.
What you did is you acted as if, right? And that's genius. So yeah, so you're acting as if by giving yourself the roles that you would need to have once you move out.
Right.
I think that's genius. That's something that I'm going to take on for sure.
Yeah, and it's the same thing like if you're looking for a relationship or something, people always say, well, act like you already have a partner. Right. And I've read certain things like you should sleep, you know, on the side of the bed that you would if you had a partner, like not all sprawled out, even though I do sleep sprawled out.
Yeah. You would still do it, boyfriend or no boyfriend. But that's actually a good point. I had a friend that listen, some people really do just want to get married and have a family. She realized what she wanted to do is to be a mother, be a wife, be a homemaker, but she wasn't doing anything that would make her that way. So when she started getting to the law of attraction, literally dancing on tables, drinking all the time, wasn't doing anything that aligned her with that reality. So she started getting into the law of attraction through my videos also, and she changed everything. She started to cook, she started to clean, she started to work from home also, just like take care of the house and she started doing what she wanted to do ultimately, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, she's on her way. She's in a serious relationship now. It's going there. So
yeah.
It works, acting as if it's a real thing. And it's time for me to do my own laundry. I'm kidding, I do my own laundry.
Sometimes. Yeah, I think that, I mean, your friend is a perfect example though, because we've all been there where we're saying we want something, like we're saying, oh, we want our bank account to be a certain number, but then we're spending money left and right, you know, like,
or not spending at all, which is how you would act if you have no money, right?
So
Scarcity. Exactly. You're obsessing over scarcity. So there's different ways of doing it. It all depends on your mindset.
Right.
Right? Like some people need to be this way or some people need to be that way. And it just depends on what makes you feel like you already have what you have.
Yeah, I mean the vision boards helped a lot, but I would say overall, just sometimes I'd walk around Santa Monica and pretend, or sometimes I would walk around my old place, the place I was living in right before here. It was a townhouse, it wasn't a house, but sometimes I would pretend it was a house.
Yeah, that's
just in my head.
Flawless plan.
Yeah.
I'm taking this and I'm doing this starting today. So you guys are gonna see me move into my new home soon.
You got your house tour.
Keep saying home. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get a mansion, okay? Maybe.
You have no idea that you won't.
Exactly. So why narrow it down to my house? Talking a lot about visualizing and vision boards. I will make a vision board for this for sure. I wanted to tell you about what I was doing. So I have a Patreon account. I have a Patreon where the members get a monthly live stream. And this past live stream for May, what we did is we did a challenge. So many of you might be familiar with Neville Goddard, who's kind of like one of the fathers of the law of attraction, of the new age-ish law of attraction.
I've never heard of him, so I have to.
You're gonna love his stuff. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send you tons of things.
Text me his name.
I got you.
Yeah.
So he was a teacher, he taught law of attraction, and he had classes. And in these classes, what he would do in the beginning of the semester, I don't know if it was in school or outside of school, but in the beginning of these classes, he would give the students a test, a law of attraction test, and he says, come back if you manifest this. So this is what he did. He taught them to visualize a ladder, and I'll go through this with you guys right now. To visualize a ladder every night as they go to bed. And why that's powerful is because when you're falling asleep, you're slipping into alpha state. And that's when your mind is the most impressionable, your subconscious mind.
Okay, I was gonna ask you, is that, so that's the subconscious mind?
Yes, the subconscious. Okay. That's when it's the most impressionable, when you can really implement. It's a good time to do subliminals, things like that. Right?
Yeah.
Hypnosis. So as you're slipping into alpha state, you're visualizing yourself climbing a ladder. And what you have to do is you literally see it propped up against whatever wall you wanna create, and see yourself putting your arms up and putting leg up to leg on each rung. And just see the wood or the metal or whatever it's made of, really visualize it. And whenever your thoughts wander to something else, just return them back to the ladder. And do this every night until you see a ladder in your physical reality.
And do you have to be climbing it or in your physical reality, or do you just have to see it?
So it's good enough to just see it,
okay,
but it's kind of a test of your creative powers to see if you are put in a position where you have to climb a ladder, that like you manifested 100. Let's say you see a ladder in a video right after doing this. You manifested it, you still did. When I did this, when we did it with the group, everybody saw a ladder, everyone did. I saw my ladder 3 days after starting the visualization exercise. I'll put the picture here. I took a picture with it. I was so excited when I saw my ladder. Just because we were talking about this on your video. Attracting big things, you kind of get used to it. You kind of get used to attracting big things when the law of attraction is everything that you do, when it's your career, your life, whatever.
Right.
So when I test out new techniques for my channel, I like to try doing it with little things. So what I did is I tried doing it myself, and when I manifested that small thing, it reaffirms your belief.
It does.
So I want us all to try this visualization exercise, and what it's going to do is it's going to improve your habits as a creator and just improve your belief. Show you that you can manifest anything. I forgot this part of the story. When the students came back to Neville Goddard's class, he said to them, you could have just as easily visualized yourself winning the lottery.
Oh my God.
And isn't that great? It's all about belief, you know? It's very easy to believe you can attract a ladder.
Right.
It's a little harder to believe that you can win the lottery. So it's all about your beliefs.
Yeah.
So I want us all to try to do this. Do this every night until you see a ladder, and I would love it if you join us.
Oh,
on this.
I 100%. Like I'm already kind of thinking of the ladder that I'm thinking
that you're gonna climb. I know you have a.
I do have a ladder.
You have a ladder, so I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you attracted this because there is no time. You already attracted the ladder into your existence, or I attracted it into your house. So I don't know, it would be fun to just try it, see.
But you know what's crazier, guys? So this was like 3 days ago that you did this?
Yeah. Oh, last week, yeah.
Last week, okay. So say you didn't see that ladder the day you saw it. since I have one in my backyard right now and she was coming here, she would have saw it. So it kind of goes back to anything that you put out there that you say, I want, is already there for you.
It's already there until you discover it, and it could be in several places at once also. Just have faith, have belief.
Yeah.
You can do this. Okay, so that's it for our talk. Thank you so much for inviting me over
thank you.
and for having me. I love you. You're the best.
And thank you for being on my channel. And the necklace.
Oh, guys, the balancing amulet on this beauty. Make sure if you're not following her and me on Instagram, to follow us on Instagram.
Oh, thank you guys.
I'm expecting some hot pictures with the amulet.
Oh, definitely.
It's so beautiful on you, I swear.
I love it.
It goes well with your skin color. Yeah, it's very gold.
I love it.
So that's what I was going for. Until my next video, as always, keep your vibrations way up.
As always, guys, my baby elephants, get your vibrations way up.
Yeah!